The next thing you have to do is round with significant figures. And when you're rounding with significant figures, you may be told how many significant figures you need to keep. The question might say, round this number to 4 significant figures. Round this number to 2 significant figures. The way we do that is start on the left and work to the right. And we'll find the number of significant figures we need. This means you don't count leading zeros, because leading zeros are never significant. You won't count any leading zero when you do this. Okay, so you're looking basically for the first non-zero. That's where you'll start counting. The rounding rules: if it's 4 or less, leave it alone. If the number following it is 6 or more, round it up. And then if it's a 5, make the last significant figure even. So the question might be, round this number to 2 significant figures. Again, we start on the left, we work our way to the right, find our 2 significant figures. So the 3 will be my first one, the 7 will be my second one. So my cutoff is there between the 7 and the 2. Because the 7 is followed by a 2, 4 or less, I'm going to leave the 7 alone. And again, we only look at the number immediately after our last significant figure. So again, that's a 2, the 7 stays. Now what to do with all this stuff? Well, all this stuff is to the left of the decimal point. The decimal point's assumed to be right there. All this stuff is to the left of the decimal point. Anything that's extra needs to be replaced with a 0 over there to hold the place value. So the answer to this would be 3,700,000. Again, the 3 is in the millions place and it's got to stay there. Not allowed to move. The 7 is in the 100,000s place, it's got to stay there, it's not allowed to move. And so by replacing these with zeros, we hold the place values. None of those count as significant figures because they're trailing zeros and there is no decimal point. Do the same thing to 2 Sig Figs. Again, we start at the left, work our way to the right, find our 2 significant figures. We got to skip all those zeros because those zeros are leading and they don't count. So the 4 is the first one, the 2 is the second one. The cutoff is between the 2 and the 9. That's a 9, so by rule, 6 or more, round it up. So that changes to a 3. Now what to do with all this stuff? This stuff is to the right of the decimal point. And if it's to the right of the decimal point, you just drop it. So this would be 0.0000043. All these zeros have to stay to hold the place values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 4 is the 5th number after the decimal point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has to stay the 5th number after the decimal point.